I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, good fellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Rivas, turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cats will inbound again for baseline right. Bradley into Pete, wide open, slam it home.
Excellent execution there. Braden Burries with a beautiful back screen, freeing up Koa Pete for the dunk.
To Del Orso, around a high screen. Get it back to Burries, squares up from the three, buries it. First Lexus of Tucson charity three for Braden Burries. And Burries, handling point, will bring it down to Del Orso. Top of the three-point line. Deli slides left, dump it off. Awaka's going to drive right, all the way to the bucket, laid up and good.
Yeah, Awaka just does such a great job of using his shoulders for separation, staying on balance, realizing that Micah Robinson's too small.
Trying to dribble out of trouble now. Needs some help. Del Orso will catch it. 6 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Del Orso has to fire a deep three out there, and he hits it from the right wing.
Once again, Del Orso with the big three. He's done it all year. Steps up and knocks it down again.
Bradley back and forth dribble now. Matched up on Harding. JB into the lane. Turnaround fade away. Up and good. Oh my. What a second half for Jaden Bradley. 86-73. Wildcats just have to inbound the ball. That'll be your final score. Arizona goes to 16-0. They'll remain number one in the polls on Monday. Wildcats 86, Horned Frogs 73, your final here in Fort Worth.
And not only did they remain number one in the AP poll, they picked up another top ranking over on the coaches' side as well. Undisputed number one team in the country, your Arizona Wildcats on basketball night in Arizona. Indeed that, because guess who's coming to dinner? That's right, the Devil people from up in Tempe. It is the Territorial Cup Series between Arizona and Arizona State. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, getting you set for meeting number 250. Aren't we having the 250th anniversary of our country this year, if I'm not mistaken? Am I correct on that one, JW? 250 years of the United States, 250 games tonight of this rivalry in basketball between the Arizona Wildcats and the Arizona State Sun Devils. U of A, of course, way ahead in this rivalry. 163 wins to 86 losses. Looking to make it 164 tonight.
At what percentage is it no longer a rivalry?
Well, it's always going to be. It's always them. It's always us. Yeah, the Wildcats have dominated on the basketball side, but hey, and you'll hear the highlight coming up a little bit later. Don't forget, just 3 years ago, they came in here and walked out with a miraculous W, and that's what makes it a rivalry, no matter how good you are, which that day, Arizona was number 7 in the country at 24-4, and the little brothers to the north came down here and put a dampering. It made it like, Tommy likes to say after those Saturday wins, let's go out and have a nice dinner here in Tucson. It was not a nice dinner that particular
We
Saturday.
could not forget that night, DK, if we tried, because that's something that some fans from the School of North will bring up every time they talk basketball, because that's a big moment. Big moment for them.
Very big moment. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I got J.W. Madden. I got Kelvin Efon as well. Let's let you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we will start with a review of the win over TCU this past weekend. You heard the highlights there. 86-73 was the final on that one. We'll take our first look at the Wildcats and the Sun Devils. Our first look at the game, as always, brought to you by Window Depot. We'll shine a spotlight on a cat. That spotlight today will be Motiejus Krivas, the 7'2" Lithuanian center for the Arizona Wildcats. Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats, caught up with Motiejus and chatted with him. So you'll hear that interview. DK with TL. We got a press conference this week. How about that? We actually got a chance to go talk to the head coach. Got some questions in to the head coach. You will hear those coming up. Actual, not just somewhat. What am I been calling it? Kinda DK with TL. It's not kinda DK with TL tonight. It is actually DK with TL because he did have a press conference yesterday, and we were there to ask him some questions. So you will hear that. College basketball scoreboard, pretty big upset in the Big 12 last night. We'll tell you about that. Scouting report. Kyle Dodd is the radio analyst for the Arizona State Sun Devils. He will join us to bring you up to speed on what's happening with Bobby Hurley's crew. Who will be that Sun Devil that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? It's your Pest of the Game, brought to you by Essential Pest Control. We'll tell you who we think those guys will be. Beat the book. Can we beat the book tonight? Arizona, a 21.5-point favorite in this first home game with the students back in town. Perfect timing. ASU coming to town. Zona Zoo will be filled with actual students tonight, and a loud group I'm sure they'll be after spending time at home and away from Tucson on Christmas break. Your over-under tonight, 148.5. A view from courtside. We'll catch up on what's happening with one of your favorite, most recent Arizona alums. Caleb Love is tearing it up right now for an injury-riddled Portland Trailblazer team. We'll talk to Joe Freeman, who covers the Blazers for the Oregonian, to find out exactly what Caleb's future might be in the NBA and with that Blazers ball club. Keys to the game by Royal Automotive and starting lineups presented by Rocking K. All of that coming up for you as we've got you right up until 8 o'clock tonight. All right, let's take a look back at what happened on Saturday down in Fort Worth, Texas, an 86-73 win for your Arizona Wildcats, a game in which they never trailed, led early by as many as 20, but again, had to fight off a number of runs by the Horned Frogs. Tommy Lloyd afterwards says, hey, this was not going to be an easy game.
Well, 100%. We knew how hard it's going to be. I mean, I know how good of a coach Jamie is. He's been doing this for a long time, and I knew how physical the game was going to be. I understand what Big 12 games are. Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys did a great job. I mean, I feel really good how the game went. Obviously, I feel great about the result. And, we knew coming in. I mean, when you really do a deep dive on TCU, they had lost 4 games by a combined 14 points. And they haven't lost in regulation since, November something. So, this was a team that has a lot of fight in it, and they're well coached. They have a lot of pride as a program, and they're playing at home, and we expected a response out of them. When things looked like they were going well for us, we knew that they were going to keep coming, and credit to them, they did.
Yeah, the Wildcats got another one of those famed 10-0 runs that they've put together all season long. Got another one of those in this game for sure. Got a tremendous, absolutely tremendous second-half performance from their leader. Jaden Bradley did not have any points at the half, but finished with 17, all of those coming after the intermission. Jaden Bradley on his struggles early in the game against TCU.
It's kind of next man up. Braden and everybody else did a great job of managing the game. Just had to find better ways to, play without fouling and just make the adjustments.
Yeah, he did make those adjustments for sure. And we've seen Jaden be able to do that at times where he just takes over ball games, much like he did in that second half. But despite that, Tommy Lloyd continues to pound just the unselfishness that we are seeing with the player that is Jaden Bradley.
An experienced player who, puts, value in the team's performance over himself, but also understands maybe there's moments that, he can, be more focused on being the driving force. And, he obviously is very comfortable in that closing role, and he's had some success with it this year. So, I mean, am I surprised when it's happening? No. But does that mean I'm not impressed? I mean, I'm very impressed. When he's able to do that, but it's not something we want to count on every single day. We always want the workload and the production load to be shared, amongst the team. I think JB's in his sweet spot. I always tell him I trust him. I trust his feel for the pulse of the game, and I mean, I tell him I'm okay with him, shooting a few more shots here and there, but I'm never going to get frustrated when he doesn't shoot, because he's what he's doing is he thinks he's trying to help our team perform, the best it can. So I'm not going to get mad at a kid for that.
Guys, we've seen Jaden earlier this season take over some games late but those were like games where this team needed him to do that. I don't know that this was a game where they actually needed him to do that, which made it more interesting, because it really just kind of came in the flow of the second half offense that he was able to get those 17 points. It wasn't like he had to force it. It just came more in the flow of the offense.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. I just think I've been praising him all year, because I know to be able to be in a situation to where when you're a senior and you want to take over and you want to, basically make every play, just to try to let your young guys get going. And they were playing well early. But when things start going bad, as a senior, you start to take over. You're a leader, and you want to kind of show the guys the way. So, a lot of guards are smart. They try to get guys going early, getting guys the ball in their spots. But once things, started to pick up from the other team, they had to really he had to really turn it on and get the game won.
Yeah, and I think JB's the epitome of take what the defense gives you at this point, being a senior combo-ish kind of guard, a guy who can get you 25, can also get you 10 assists. He just had 10 assists 4 games ago. I think recently teams have played him to be a scorer, and he's passing quite a lot. But in that game, what you saw, Kelvin, was some switches with bigs trying to defend JB out on the perimeter. So that last play we heard in the highlight package there, he had a big on him, put him on skates, little fadeaway from about 14 feet. Just the ultimate closer. DK, down the stretch of the UConn game against Florida, they needed those buckets. Those are one-possession games. But closing also happens when a team like TCU hits a 3 to make it a 7-point game with 6 minutes to go and put a little pressure on. JB's just that guy who's going to always take what the defense gives you. If you lay off him a little bit, obviously he can get busy, especially in mid-range, and get you some points on the board personally. That's what we saw versus TCU. But if you play off him, he's just going to find the open man. He's going to make sure something happens one way or the other. Just the epitome of a team leader who can basically do it all.
Another guy who had 17 points in that game at TCU was Anthony Del Orso, as he kind of broke out of his shooting slump. He had the previous 7 games coming into Saturday, he had hit just 7 of 34 shots. That's 21%. But he was able to go 3 for 6 from behind the arc. I mean, and some big three-pointers, including one that staved off a run in the second half, another one that came as the shot clock was expiring in the first half to really boost this offense. Anthony Del Orso sparking this team off the bench.
Yeah, we came out. They were back and forth, a little slow start for both teams. And I just see... when I come in, I got to bring that spark, like you said, bring that energy, whether that's scoring the ball defensively or just, doing the little things. Doesn't really matter as long as it kind of gives everyone a spark and gets us going, and that's kind of what I had to do.
Yeah, before he went 3 of 6 from behind the arc, he had missed 14 of his previous 15 three-point shots, 1 for 14. That was the struggle of Anthony Del Orso. Tommy Lloyd on his play in recent games.
Delly, listen, he hadn't played as well offensively as he would hope, and that's just how these seasons go. There's an ebb and a flow to them, and what he does is really hard. I mean, to be a sniper is a hard deal. If your value is making threes and shots off the dribble, that's there's a reason you guys are in the media and not playing, because it's really, really, really hard. And so you're going to have stretches of the season where you don't shoot the ball well. And, I appreciate his resilience and how he hung with it. He's practiced good the last couple of days, and so I'm glad he was able to have that today, and hopefully it'll kickstart him for another positive stretch.
J-Dub, who was the best sniper you ever played with?
Played with?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it'd have to be somebody to pick up game down at the rec center at some point. But yeah, our defense, we were a defense first and paint team when I played for Coach Peabody. So not a lot of snipers on our team. And not to mention, like more recently, DK, the amount of 3-point volume that teams are shooting since the mid, teens, like when 2014, Steph Curry kind of changed the game. With a guy like Delly, though, like you're going to have stretches, DK, even as a great shooter with great touch, where the ball just does not seem to go in. You just have the same mentality every single time you shoot it. There might have been a couple of rushed ones, I think, versus Utah. I remember him coming off a screen a couple of times, shooting a little bit off balance. But as long as he sets his feet, Kelvin, I think that Delly is going to knock down pretty much every shot because his release is very consistent when he sets his feet and gets into his motion.
Yeah, I always tell guys all the time, I say, if you have a pretty form, no player or coach is going to be mad about you shooting. And he has a pretty form and a soft shot. What people underestimate is I would love to see how many of his shots do a Walker and Pete offensive rebound. Because you got to get good shots from good players because it opens up opportunities for your bigs to be able to score with a rebound putback. Also, him taking shots is still in rhythm of the offense. We can still get back and play defense. So, when you have a guy like that, you got to let him take his shots when he's open because even if they don't go in now, they're going to pay off later on for having confidence in them.
Kelvin, do you have a favorite sniper in your past?
In high school, Reverend Arjon Robinson. He wasn't Reverend then, but he's a Reverend now. I mean, man, I tell you, he kept that court spread for me. Every time I drove his side, his man hugged him, even though I was, a top recruit. And he was always positioned on my right side, so he opened up the right side of the court for me. And then in college, man, it was Damon would go on streaks, but at practice, he would be shooting from the cactus. Half court and that cactus on the court.
Yeah, like you see guys today who shoot their regular jump shot from 30, right? And that's rare. But Damon had that, Kelvin. Damon had a regular jump shot from 30. Like most guys, you got to put a little bit of extra arms into it. Damon could shoot from out there, and his form was the same as if he shot from 20.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wish I had been here to see that. For sure. A lot of folks, we had mentioned that obviously there's a large contingent of Arizona fans and alums that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They were very audible during that game Saturday at the Schollmeyer Arena, which only holds 8,600. I don't know how many Wildcat fans were in the building, but you could hear them when U of A went on their runs and was playing well, and no surprise to Anthony Delorso that was the case.
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, the fan base is something that we, can't mention enough. They help us. They're like a sixth man for us. Traveling home, shout out to them. Appreciate the support, and we keep bringing it because we got a lot of big games coming up.
Yep, and that starts with tonight against the rivals here in Tucson at McHale Center. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. It is the pregame show. We've got you till 8 o'clock. Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary will be on the call tonight at McHale Center with tip-off coming up at 8:30. And, of course, we're back with you after the game from approximately, I believe, tonight 11 to 1 is the scheduled call for tonight's post-game show. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll take our first look at Arizona State when we come back. Calvin Efon is here, JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier
Hi, this is
Tire
Natalie
and
Fernandez
Auto
at
Care.
Meridian Wealth Management. And one of the hardest things I witness is when someone passes and they hadn't updated their beneficiaries properly beforehand. We all experience change in our lives, marriage, divorce, kids, and we work very hard for what we have. Leaving your legacy exactly the way you desire is important. This is your reminder to review all of your beneficiary designations today and at least annually. Seek guidance if you need it. Call our office at 520-719-4600. 1433 for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way has important news.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' Cay, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingCay.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Ball is set for his second. This one is up and good. But it's a 2-point lead with 2.9 to go. Sun Devils in down the ball. Desmond Cambridge from mid-court. It's good, and ASU has won the game. Desmond Cambridge from mid-court sinks it. They'll take a look at the replay, but I don't think there's any doubt.
No doubt.
So he had missed a 3 earlier that probably he took too quick of a shot. And this one from half court is good, 89-88. ASU wins the game.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Yeah, we don't want to see that happen again. That was not fun. That Saturday 3 years ago here when the Sun Devils came to town. Bobby Hurley was one happy dude after Cambridge hit that shot, throwing his hands up into the air. You might have seen the pictures of it. Bobby has been a very emotional coach since he came to coach the Sun Devils. He's gotten some tease. He's been ejected from some of these rivalry games. The Arizona Wildcat fans love to get on him when this team comes to town. He loves to get on them right back. But Bobby said that he's trying to control his emotions this season.
Yeah, our guys, this year's team is a little different. The international guys don't really participate in the trash talking side of things, or so we haven't had problems. I guess Pig got engaged an official a couple of games ago and got a technical at the Oregon State game, but we haven't had that become an issue for us at all this year. So yeah, it's going to be a heated game. They're a really, really good team, and it's their home floor, and they take it personal there. So it's I could expect there to be a lot of edge to the game.
I don't know that Bobby Hurley is trying to take from the Tommy Lloyd book of recruiting, but 7 international players on this roster. I think that's probably as many on a Sun Devil team as I've ever seen. You've got the young man from Argentina, Montenegro, 2 guys from Belgium, a guy from Italy, Senegal, and Serbia dot this roster for the Arizona State Sun Devils, who will be coming in here tonight to take on your Wildcats. This will be the, obviously, fifth season that Bobby Hurley and Tommy Lloyd have tangled across the court with each other, or at least their teams. I mean, they haven't gotten into any fisticuffs or anything of that nature. In fact, Tommy Lloyd says he likes Bobby Hurley.
I mean, I've obviously been in on the back end of it, and I can't speak for Bobby other than that he and I have a good relationship. For me, I honestly approach this game like any other game. I don't make more of it. I don't look for bulletin board material. I mean, nothing like that. I just look at it as another game on our schedule that, is going to be one of our 18 games in our conference standing. I understand people on the outside might get emotional, but, I don't think that helps us perform better. So, we're obviously excited to play the game. We have a lot of respect for Bobby and for Arizona State. We know how dangerous they are. We felt it firsthand many times before. So, we're going to approach the game with that respect and go out and try to play well from there.
I thought, guys, what Bobby said there was very interesting when he said, hey, the international players, they don't really get into a lot of that trash talk. Not to say they can't do it, because one of the things I used to notice a lot about Azuis Tabelis when he was here was he had a very subtle way. It wasn't bombastic, it wasn't dramatic, but he had a very subtle way of letting you know that I just dunked on you or I just made a fool of you. It wasn't like in your face, yelling, screaming like what got Koa Pete a technical last week, but he just had this look, and I watched a lot of games. I shot a lot of games when I was in TV from courtside, so I saw it a number of times from him after he would make a fool of somebody. But I think Bobby has had a lot of teams recently where there were a lot of guys that weren't about getting done what he wanted to get done, and were, for lack of a better term, were about the BS. And I think that that might be one of the reasons why he's gone out and maybe tried to bring in a different type of player to this program.
Yeah, Kelvin, some guys need an element of trash talk's kind of not it for a lot of guys. A lot of guys need an element of that extra in the game to build themselves up and put themselves in that moment. And that's just the way some guys play. I mean, you can look at, guys like Dylan Brooks and guys like Bradley, right, from the NBA. But to me, the number one trash talker currently is Luka Doncic, and he's European.
Right.
So to me, I don't know if it's necessarily that Europeans don't trash talk, period. I just think, Kelvin, there's an element. We talk about Ivan Karchenkov coming up as a 12-year-old in that program. You don't talk trash when you're 12, 13, 14 because guess what happens? You talk trash to those guys, and they take it seriously, and then you don't score, and they put 1,000,000 points on your head. So I think there's an element of you have to be really, really good and back it up, and then there's guys who like to talk a little bit. But, Kelvin, I mean, you know, there's a couple of guys on every team that just need to get into a little bit of extracurriculars to pick themselves up and put themselves in the moment of that game.
Yeah, trust me, that's all it be with most of these guys, just, trying to find a way to motivate themselves to go to another level. But wait a minute, I got to say something about this European basketball. Everybody know I've been into it for a long time, paying attention. Guys, the reason why a lot of those guys don't talk is because they play very physical. And if you get to talking, you'll catch an elbow or you'll get knocked on the ground. They play like we played in the 80s and 90s. Right? And a lot of these guys are coming over. Danny Hurley has those guys on the team. We talked about this before, where those guys are coming over because it's worth it now to them. They're making money.
Yeah.
That's why he's able to change his team over. No, he's just doing what everybody else is doing. And he understands that if he doesn't keep up, it's going to go about. He's got professionals. You have to have professionals. But still, the two leading scorers on his team are two Danny Hurley guys, both of them. The point guard and Pig Johnson. Both of those guys are very fiery guys, and we're going to find that out tonight. But back to the European guys. Come on, guys, you got to pay attention. You see Ivan. He might not say nothing, but you can see it with his body language. He's saying a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what I said.
He's saying a lot.
Exactly. It's a different type of trash talk, I think, that a lot of those guys bring to the table.
Yeah, man, physical. If they bring physical, they do it to you.
Yeah, so what K-Rock's saying is some of those guys on Hurley's team did talk trash at one point in their lives, and now they don't because they got what was coming to them.
J-Dub, I want to jump ahead here to another cut. Let's go to 6.3 here because it kind of fits with what we're talking about here. Bobby Hurley talked before the season just about his international recruiting philosophy. Again, 7 international guys on this roster right now.
I mean, some of it is relationship driven. Also, it's it's the economics of this year's portal. I think was very expensive for American players, and international players are very happy. Maybe making a significant bump from where they were in Europe and wanting to come over to the United States, get an education and play college basketball in the best conference in the United States. So we felt like getting those guys that played a couple of years professionally gave us an advantage. Like Noah already has had a good impact with his IQ, talking to his teammates, letting them know things that he sees on the floor. And that just shows that he's been very well coached. And I think a number of the international players that I have right now, I feel the same way about.
All right, that was Bobby Hurley talking a little bit before this season on his philosophy. Noah Muson is the young man he's talking about, a sophomore who has played in 13 games, has made 1 start so far, still finding his way. But a young man who can come off the bench and can bring some offense to the table, as well as a really good defender on this team as well. 520-848-1290 is the number we said if you want to get in on the conversation, and we have somebody that wants to do just that. Let's chat with Andy. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the pregame show.
Bobby Hurley is a total interesting character. I don't think his collegiate days as a basketball player has translated to head coaching. Could be wrong about that, but it just doesn't seem like he's as successful as a coach as he was as a player. He has as much chance changing his disposition and demeanor as I do becoming a billionaire, which is at my age right now. I'm just happy to be a millionaire.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I'd be happy to be that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm trying. I'm striving in that direction. But yeah. So good luck, Bobby. I can't. To me, arrogant, nasty little creature. I'm glad that we have Lloyd, and he could try all he wants. He could bring South Americans, people from Asia, wherever he wants to recruit. God bless him, but you still got to deal with Bobby Hurley, and whatever language you want to translate that to, that sounds like discomfort and pain to me.
There you go. Andy, appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Bear down, Cat.
There we go. Bear down, go Cats.
It's,
he was definitely a player that you didn't want to have to face him because he was not likable.
I mean, if listeners don't understand the story, like Bobby and his brother obviously grew up in the household with one of the most famous high school coaches in the history of high school sports. And he was a Jersey guy. And here's the thing, people, I don't know about you, Kelvin, but to me, there's so many great players that try their hand at coaching, and that translation from I could do it so well on the court, but then guiding people through the process of becoming great players themselves, it might not translate. If people don't know, Bobby Hurley played his last collegiate game in 1993, and he still holds the record for most assists in NCAA history. We're going on 30 years he's had the NCAA assist record. So, I mean, he was a hell of a player. Probably, I think he has the record for most NCAA tournament games ever played. I think they went to 3 or 4 Final Fours. I mean, Bobby Hurley as a player was nails. And I think that feistiness, Kelvin, on the sidelines, it's like, when we watched Larry Bird coach briefly for the Pacers, like there's an element of, I just wish I could get out there, put a jersey on and show these guys how to do it. And translating that, Kelvin, into telling them how to do it. Sometimes there's some, some angry energy involving that players just sometimes can't do what that great player coach wanted them to do.
Yeah, and a lot of time what it is, man, is that you have to create toughness for your team. And a lot of times you go into these games, man, and your team isn't tough. And so you try to carry the toughness from the sideline, which is so hard to do. You try not to bag down to the refs. You just, you're yelling and you're pushing and you're subbing because you don't want your guys being intimidated. And you don't want them thinking that they can't beat the schools that are bigger than them. And that's the situation Bobby is in. You switch Bobby with, I think, any U of A. I know people wouldn't want to hear this, but you switching with any U of A coach with the tradition of U of A have or Duke and one of those type of schools, I think he would have a different record. I think being at a school like ASU, nothing against ASU, but in basketball, way before he got there, all the coaches that ever been there, same situation, that was in the Pac-12. Now they're in the Big 12, right? And every team in the Big 12 probably got more resources and willing to spend more resources, on the sports. And I'm not giving them any excuses. I'm just saying the fact. I don't think that he's a bad coach. I just think a lot of coaches be in bad situations.
I think he's a good coach, and his biggest flaw is retention. Because if you think about his original, Force 4 3 years, they were trying to change it to guard you and all that. Kelvin, all those guards went to Kansas. They went everywhere else. There was a big exodus, and that's been consistent with Bobby Hurley's program in Tempe ever since he took over. They'll have a sniff of success, and then some of those players will get poached. This is before the transfer portal, before NIL. He's had a history of players leaving that program. So the real question is, what would that program look like if he retained all those players and they didn't go elsewhere? I think he's a decent recruiter. I think he's a good coach. I just think they've had a really hard time keeping the group together long enough to make any kind of noise. Because, man, I mean, he had a chance in the pack, and not now that they're in the Big 12. I mean, now the expectations have to be 8th or 9th or 10th is a good season, right? I mean, think about, there was some leeway in the pack. At least you could make moves. There were only 2 or 3 really, really good teams and good programs. But now, I mean, it's just a real uphill battle for the school up north to try to get a consistently winning basketball program when you're constantly playing top 10 teams.
And I'll say this last thing. If this is where you know about a coach right here. If the guy's transferring to a better situation, you did your job. If they're transferring to NIA or to a low D1 because they're just trying to get away from you, now maybe you may be the problem. Right? So, if you go back and look at all those guys that transfer, they all transfer to bigger and better schools. Yeah. I mean, and you can't really hold those guys back from that if you a coach. I mean, you can't hold anybody back from anything, but as a coach, your job is to try to help them advance to whatever they think the next level is.
Just to throw back to the original part of this segment, DK, you're talking about a feistiness. let the record show that Bobby Hurley got his first technical in McHale in his first game, in the first half of the first game, a game that he also was kicked out for getting a second technical. So he got kicked out of his first game he ever coached in McHale Center. Like Kelvin said, that's the energy he's going to bring. Really feisty. I like that energy. He clearly is a competitive win-first guy. If you saw him play, I mean, there's nobody questioning Bobby Hurley's competitiveness. Just had a really hard time getting enough quality players in that program to make real noise.
All right, before we go to break, I want you to hear from Maurice Odom because Bobby Hurley also has 8 transfers in his rotation this year. No one wanted to be a Sun Devil more than Maui Mo.
Coach don't know this, but I was going to come regardless. I just needed him to call me. This has been my dream school since high school, so I just always tell myself if I had a chance to come to ASU, I would. So I just needed to put the work in.
Well, there you go. He put the work in at Pacific and then Pepperdine to get to his dream school out of the Bronx, New York, Arizona State University. That is our first look at the Wildcats and the Sun Devils.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors our glass cleaner of the game. Who's that going to be tonight? Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Could be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday, the post-game show. Much more straight ahead. We'll shine a spotlight on Motiellas Krivas when we come back. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Gameday. Kelvin Efon is here, JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
As the new year begins, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing would like to thank you for allowing us to serve Tucson and the surrounding communities for the past 25 years. Whether it is a small water leak or a full air conditioning replacement, we do it all, big or small. For professional service, call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockschooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Why do I spend so much time educating our youth about financial wellness? I have seen the fire ignite inside of young adults when I show them how the power of compound investing can change their futures. This is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and I'm committed to affecting change with our youth. An idea for all of you listening today, gift a Roth IRA contribution for the holidays or birthdays for your kids and grandkids. Contact our office at 520-719-1433 for guidance and details. The change begins with us.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Feed it left side, Karchinkov. Get it to Krivas, free throw line, spin move, jump hook up, and it rolls in for two.
Yeah, Mo Krivas starting to be an inside presence, playing with a lot of confidence right now, able to knock down a right-hand jump hook.
Our pregame show, Spotlight on a Cat, is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Motias Krivas has been coming on both at the offensive and defensive ends of the floor for your Arizona Wildcats. Had a 25-point game in his second Big 12 conference game ever against Kansas State. Nice bounce back off a not-so-great performance in the opener against Utah, but continues to really put up solid numbers. Just 8 shots in the game against TCU. He went 2 for 8. He did have 8 points, and he grabbed 10 rebounds. He has the 2 double-doubles this season, a 25 and 12 performance, a 13 and 11 performance. Actually, I'm sorry, he has 3 double-doubles. Don't want to shortchange him. 14 and 4, 13 and 11, 25 and 12. For Motias Krivas, Brian Jeffries caught up with the 7'2" big man from Chule, Lithuania.
All right, a couple minutes with Mo Krivas. Mo, you're coming off a career-high 25 points. Just tell us a little bit about maybe your play of late and what have you felt best at here in the last couple weeks?
Just like responding to other games, like for example Utah game, like they brought a lot of like physicality, so watching film, seeing what I did wrong and then showing that on the court, like just knowing what other team will do, what's their defensive plan, and just attacking.
Is there any way you can gauge personally how much more physical you are now this year as opposed to a year ago or 2 years ago?
I think I got more physical, but I wouldn't say it's crazy. Just maybe I just understood like how the college basketball works and just know how to use my body better.
You draw a lot of fouls. You get to the free throw line. Is that something by design? Is it just because you find yourself in the right place at the right time, or do you even notice that?
I don't know. It just happens. I don't know. And maybe for the teams, it's better to send me to the line. I don't know. Yeah.
You don't mind. And, I mean, you're shooting free throws very well. So is that something you maybe worked on over the offseason?
Like in every workout, I shoot a lot of free throws, just like, especially when I'm tired, to like keep it stable. But of course, I will take the free throws and I try to make them.
take us through Arizona's high-low offense, because you're oftentimes a big part of it. You might be the high guy or the low guy, and why does that work so well for Arizona?
We play against a couple of teams who does that, and it's really hard to defend. It puts a lot of pressure on the bigs. So just doing that, I think it wears teams down, and it helps us to score easy points and put foul pressures. It makes them sub and put rotational players into the game.
How much fun has this season been so far? I mean, not just the wins, but just your teammates and the experiences you've had so far.
It's been really fun just from the start, from the preparation camp. We went to Casa Grande where we prepared, and then just having these moments all together, playing these games. It's been really fun, and looking forward to what's to come.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Motias Krivas with the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffrey. 16 starts in 16 games from Mr. Krivas after he played in just 8 games last year due to injury. And again, the big stat that kind of stands out, shooting 82% from the line, 60 of 73. And when you can get him down there and he's drawing fouls and he's getting to the lane and making free throws, I mean, it's a very good high percentage play in the Wildcats offense for sure. An offense that we've seen through these first 16 games, extremely, extremely diverse and versatile. It can be any guy. I said after my top takeaway from the win over TCU, it can be any guy on any given night. Tuesday night or Saturday in Fort Worth, you had obviously Anthony Del Orso coming in off the bench and scoring 17 points. You had Koa Pete leading the way in that game with 20 points. The game before was the 25-point performance by Motias Krivas, the 28-point performance by Jaden Bradley. You've seen the number of games where you've had 6 players in double figures for this offense. Jaden Bradley says, yeah, we are hecka versatile for sure. Jaden Bradley talked after the game the other night, saying that this offense is extremely versatile.
Like you said, very well versatile team. We got Koa, Toe, Big Mo, forces in the paint, and they make it easier for us guards to get open shots, and we just playing off each other, making it easy for each other. That's the goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, and again, we've seen 4 freshmen who have been able to come in and immediately make a difference for this team. We talked about Pete Burries, Dwayne Aristote, Ivan Karchinkov is in that mix as well. Anthony Del Orso on the benefits of these freshmen who are essentially not playing like freshmen 16 games into the season.
Yeah, it's good. They obviously, a step ahead of the game. 5 years ago, freshmen probably weren't like that. But yeah, taking them under the wing, just showing them, what we went through, trying to give them as much advice and, let them also take their own path and, build their own journey, because, you can't just come in and be a robot. You definitely got to play, the way you play all your life. So they've been great. They've been able to listen and do their own thing, and, it's helping us great.
Guys, there was a reason why Jerome Tang said after the game here last Wednesday night, that it's when you deal with Arizona, you're dealing with poison. You pick your poison and it's all poison, because you just don't know who it's going to be tonight for Arizona. It could be any of those 8 guys in that rotation.
Yeah, as a coach, you try to look at the games and you try to put a game plan together, and then you look at the games, and every game a different guy is killing you. You'll think, well, let's stop Berries, but you can look at the games where he didn't even shoot well, and we blew people out by 20. So it's just a nightmare for a coach trying to put together a scout on exactly what they want to do. I mean, to me, I think I would just put my team in a 2-3 defense and say, hey, they're going to have to beat us from outside. But again, offensive rebounds open up. So there's almost, when you look at this team and the way that they've played up to this, to these 16 games, it just looks intimidating when you have to think of how can you figure out a way to beat them.
Yeah, this is not a normal team. Because in general, what you'll have is a skilled freshman point guard with some veteran bigs. So what does that mean? Turnover prone, maybe can't feed the post. You have issues there. Sometimes you get a senior point guard who can drive the team forward, but the scorers on the wings or the guys in the middle are not efficient at finishing. This team, guys, is Coach Tommy Lloyd, coaching for how many? 26 years in college basketball, and not ever cutting the nets down. And every single one of those years is a lesson learned. Ideally, as a coach in college basketball, you want to build a team. If you're one of those teams that has the potential to recruit to build a team that could win a title, you definitely want to be as balanced as possible and be able to overcome any style and any style of game. So if you need to score in the 50s to win, you need to score in the hundreds, you need to play by defense, you need to win by rebounding, anything it takes to win. And guys, I mean, I've seen a lot of great college basketball teams over the years with one singular force that drove all of the easy baskets for everybody else. But the best teams I've ever seen are the ones that have 3 or 4 leading scorers, and they're all unselfish. Each one of those guys willing passers. And that's what we're seeing on this year's team. 4 freshmen who are mature beyond their years with senior leadership at the center position and in the backcourt. It's just the perfect storm of all the players and pieces coming together, and those freshman guys being ready to go from day one versus Florida to here we are in the 3rd game of the Big 12, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. Just a perfectly built roster and a bunch of guys that are willing to do it and willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get the win. And so far, they're doing just that.
Speaking of a perfectly built roster, let's hear from the head coach who put this roster together and how he did it.
I don't want to make light of it and act like it wasn't challenging. I mean, it's always challenging. You know, recruiting and building a team is something that, you know, always takes a lot of effort, you know. But I think, you know, one of the big things is, you know, you don't get a crystal ball in recruiting, and you kind of have to read and react each situation, because one situation might impact another situation when it impacts another situation. So you got to kind of be able to, you know, keep your head up and just kind of navigate, you know, process and the roster building process, you know, with open eyes. And because, you know, here's the deal. You don't always get what you want. I mean, this year I think we got a lot of what we wanted, you know, but, you know, maybe this year, you know, is on the above average side of that. So it's, you know, we take putting our roster together very serious, and we're very mindful in how we put it together. And, you know, so far this year it's worked pretty well.
It has worked very well. 16-0 is this Arizona team. They are among the nation's best in rebound margin, 2nd overall, 6th overall in scoring margin, 10th in assists per game, 12th in fast break points, 12th in field goal percentage, and 12th in points per game. So I'd say that, and they're number 1 in both polls. So, yeah, it's worked out extremely well so far. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day is the program. We want to hear from you, 520-848-1290. Get in by way of phone call or text. When we come back, hour number 2, we will dive in. DK with TL. We actually got a chance to ask the head coach some questions. Your head coach who went before the Arizona State Legislature this week. We'll dive into that, and we'll let you hear what Tommy had to say. Calvin Efon is here. JW Madden. My name is David Kelly. Glad you could be with us as we get you set for Arizona and Arizona State with tip-off coming up at 8:30. You'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too.
is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
The holidays are here, and so are the Red Tag savings on new Chevrolets at O'Reilly Chevrolet. We've got Red Tag inventory and pricing on the latest Silverado, Equinox, and Traverse models, and yes, we have inventory. Get Red Tag O'Reilly pricing on brand new Chevys and unwrap great holiday deals and unbeatable pricing all season long. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thona Ogden Nation.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary. Call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Maybe we'll push it the other way across the midcourt line now. Wait for everybody to catch up out to Koa Pete. Pete drives all the way to the bucket and lay it in.
Yeah, big time drive there with the left hand for Koa Pete, finishing with the right. That's what he needs to do, stay in attack mode.
Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our show. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm David Kelly. We've got DK with TL. My questions this week to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. We actually got to ask him some questions because there was a press conference. We'll also check your college basketball scoreboard. The number 2 team in the country for the second straight week took an L and we'll let you hear a little bit about what happened there. We actually carried that game here. If you hope you got a chance to listen to that Iowa State-Kansas game here on Wildcats Radio 1290 last night. Scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. We'll check in with Kyle Dodd. He is the analyst for the Arizona State Radio Network, works with Tim Healy on the broadcast. Pest of the Game by Central Pest Control. Who'll be that Sun Devil that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? Will we be able to beat the book? Casino del Sol doesn't want you to beat the book, but they want you to come out and enjoy all of what's out at Sol Sports. They have great food, they have great drinks, and you can watch plenty of games while, winning or
they want
losing
some
your
people to
money
beat the book,
there.
but not all the people to beat the book.
Well, I'm beating the book pretty well. I think I'm plus 10 right now, so I'm gonna hopefully continue that tonight. Arizona is minus 21.5 point favorites in this game tonight. Your over/under is 148.5. Your view from courtside, Joe Freeman from the Oregonian. He is the beat writer for the Portland Trailblazers. We will talk to him about Caleb Love, who has gotten a chance to play quite a bit in his early NBA career. Not a lot of people were expecting he'd be on the floor as much as we've seen him on the floor so far through the first half of the National Basketball Association season. Keys to the Game are brought to you by Royal Automotive. Starting lineups by Rocking K. All of that is still to come. So, two coaches, Kenny Dillingham, the football coach at ASU, Tommy Lloyd, the basketball coach at the University of Arizona, were invited to speak on opening day of the 57th Arizona State Legislature earlier this week. That's all the folks that you elect to represent you here within the state of Arizona, not Congress people or anything like that go to Washington. This is your Arizona legislature. Tommy Lloyd spoke in front of that group to open up the legislative session earlier this week. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
Coach Lloyd, please join us. Thank you, Speaker. I needed that hype speech. I think the first order of business is, can we get the heat turned up in here? I think we can all agree on that, all parties. Kenny, you crushed it. Just winged it. That was big time. I wrote down a few things. I hope this isn't the Arizona State Scouting Report for Wednesday. I hope I grabbed the right paper. But good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. And thank you for your service to this great state. I want to start with a simple premise. Talent is the new currency. In today's world of college athletics, you can only thrive if you can attract talent, develop talent, and as important, retain talent. I believe the same things apply when it comes to our state. That is why I love Arizona, because it is uniquely positioned to do all three of those things. Attracting talent here is not a hard sell. We have world-class weather. We have amazing natural beauty. We have innovations happening across our universities, our businesses, and our communities. And we have people, genuine, welcoming, hardworking people who make this state a great place to call home. Developing talent is essential for good leaders. It requires the humility of a growth mindset, the discipline to make consistent progress the top priority, and I'm sure all of you here today have a strong relationship with development. But retention, that is our real challenge. People don't stay somewhere just because it looks good on the outside. They stay because of how it feels on the inside. People may come to Arizona for the weather, but they stay because of the people who create the culture. In my world, college basketball, how it feels on the inside is everything. It's what keeps players committed when things get hard. It's what keeps coaches invested. It's what allows teams, businesses, and institutions to sustain success rather than just touch it briefly. And the same is true for our state. And you are the ones who create and cultivate this culture, so 7.6 million Arizonans can experience and enjoy it on a daily basis. How it feels on the inside is what retains people. What I love most about Arizona is that I believe this is a place where values still matter and where those values align with my own. At its best, Arizona is a state built on great people and healthy environments where leaders serve others, not themselves, where success is about something we can all benefit from, where people are held accountable but also supported. When I think about Arizona, I think about people who are honest, steady, hardworking, and trustworthy. To me, that is what defines an Arizonan. And when I think about the people I want to be around, whether they are student athletes, coaches, entrepreneurs, elected officials, or business leader, those are the type of people I want to be associated with. People who show up every day, people who do the right thing when no one is watching, people who understand that trust is built slowly and lost quickly. That kind of feel on the inside doesn't happen by accident. It's not a strategy. It's not a public relations headline. It is tough work, shaped every day by leadership decisions, by policy choices, and by the tone we all set at the top. The choices made in my office and yours matter far beyond our walls. They matter to a high school student deciding where to attend college. They matter to a young professional deciding whether to build a career here or somewhere else. They matter to a family deciding whether Arizona is the place they want to put down roots. Talent wants opportunity, yes, but talent also wants integrity, stability, vision, and purpose. When people believe in the environment they're stepping into, they commit more fully, they invest more deeply, they stay longer, and when they stay, they help build something that lasts. Arizona has all the ingredients to be the best place in the country to attract, develop, and retain talent in athletics, in academics, and in the corporate world. But our true competitive advantage will not be our weather or our geography. It will be our culture. It will be what it feels like on the inside. It will be whether people believe this is a place where leadership is steady, people are good, institutions are trustworthy, and success is pursued the right way. If we get this right, if we lead out of love, not fear, demand integrity, and dream big, Arizona won't just be a magnet for talent, it will retain it. And those people who choose to live here will build something that benefits the state long after we are all gone. As leaders in this state, I hope you value others, create value, and as important, feel valued. Because it's not about winning every game. It's about being undefeated at doing the right thing every time. In closing, the work you do in this session matters and will set the tone for how the citizens of Arizona feel on the inside. I know that you will take this responsibility seriously, and the Arizona men's basketball program wants to thank you for your service, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for believing in what Arizona can continue to be. Bear down, go Cats.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Yeah, the head coach getting a huge ovation there at the State House. Had to wear a sport coat. You know, they don't wear sport coats and ties anymore on the sideline. It's all sweatshirts and fleeces and tennis shoes and all that. We've gone to the Coaches for Cancer look full time now over the course of the last 5 or 6 years. So Coach had to go into his closet and get out a sport coat, and that had to have been a little bit different for him.
Yeah, but, you get an opportunity to do something, that's important to a lot of people, probably more important to a lot of people than it is to me. But yeah, you don't want to be disrespectful. So, and I'm not going to go through my entire belief system today, but, when you get an opportunity to do something like that, you want to represent yourself, you want to represent your program, and, you want to talk about things you're passionate about and that you believe in. And, we got a lot going on in our world today, and anytime you get a chance to talk to leaders, and I don't know a lot about politics, so I'll be honest there. It's not really a focus of mine, but you want to make sure the people that are representing us, have integrity, are honest, care about others more than themselves. I think all that stuff, and I'm sure everything I said has been said before, but I wanted to make sure that if I got my moment in the sun, that those were going to be the things that I wanted to hang my hat on.
How did that opportunity, Tommy, come about?
Kind of out of nowhere, I just I got an email from the Speaker of the House just asking, if I wanted to participate, and I figured as a citizen of this state, and an employee of the government, that I probably should accept. So that's what I did.
Tommy, ASU's got a couple of guards that are averaging over 15 points per game. How important is that communication defensively factor going to be for JB, Braden, and Ivan in this game?
Very important. Those guys they play off each other well. They're dangerous. They're shot makers. They're both adept at getting fouled. So, they can kind of hurt you in a lot of ways. So, not only is it going to take, great effort from those guards, but it's just going to take great effort from our bigs being there to support them. And, they're just the type of players you can't leave a guy out on an island. You need some help in those gaps to kind of reduce the operating space for some of those guys. So, yeah, no doubt. Those two guards, have our full attention.
Speaking of defense and those bigs, Krivas has talked about his defensive growth that he has made. Who's primarily worked with him in that respect, and what have you liked most about what he's been able to do at that?
Staff, has worked with them, and we're not a basketball team that necessarily has an offensive and defensive coordinator. I prefer well-rounded coaches that coach most, if not all, aspects of the game. So. So I think our whole staff's helped him. I know Murph's obviously worked with him a lot. Ken's worked with him a lot. And a lot of it is just conversations and understanding the importance, of your five. Your five is can anchor your defense. They can give you, rim protection, paint protection, good defensive rebounding, things that are really important. And we really wanted him to own that. It's never that I don't think he, didn't try on defense, but I just didn't know. I don't know if he prioritized it as much as he is now, and so he's obviously made a difference on that end of the court for it. But talk is cheap. It's something you got to go out and do every night.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Yeah, Steve Montenegro is the Speaker of the Ohio House. He was the one that extended that invitation to the head coach to come and make that speech on the floor to open up the 57th legislative session this week. So a pretty nice honor. I don't know that, I've been covering here 18 years. I'm not sure. I've heard coaches speak in front of the Board of Regents before, but I don't know that I've ever seen one speak in front of the state. Not to say that it hasn't happened. I just don't remember that happening.
Well, I know Kenny Dillingham just signed a $7.5 million contract, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Coach Lloyd, I think as far as
the two highest paid
they
state
got to
employees.
be. They have to be the two highest paid Arizona employees, right?
Yeah.
Have to.
Absolutely. So those two guards, obviously Maurice Odom and Anthony Johnson, those are two guys that we're going to have to be mindful of at the defensive end of the floor in tonight's ball game. All right, DK and J-Dub and Kelvin, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We've got much more coming up for you straight ahead. We're going to get our scouting report and talk some more about this opponent tonight, the Arizona State Sun Devils. We got off to another great start. It's almost a carbon copy of last year. They got off to a 9-2 start last year, and then injuries hit. Same thing this year, 9-2, and now all of a sudden they're hurt again, coming in here to play your Wildcats on this Wednesday night. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The holidays are over, and right now is the best time to start your home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. New year, new projects at the lowest prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary. Call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thona Ogden Nation.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
No shot there to Edmonds. Pump fake the shot, won't shoot it. Handed up, ball knocked away by Aristode in a steal. Aristode will drive all the way down, lay it up, and score it.
Beautiful end-to-end play there by Dwayne Aristode. Able to get a hand on that basketball, leading to the run-out, and beautiful finish with the right hand.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960. Here to get you there.
Let's take a closer look at tonight's opponent. It is the rival Arizona State Sun Devils. Their radio analyst joins us right now. He is Kyle Dodd. Kyle, appreciate you coming on with us. Sun Devils got back on the winning track over the weekend with a victory over Kansas State, coming off of 4 straight losses. Dang, those ex-Pac-12 brothers of ours kind of messing up this season. What kind of, because this team got off to such a great start, 9-2, went out and played so well out on the islands. What kind of was part of the stumble there over the course of those 4 games?
Yeah, it's kind of, obviously going to UCLA, tough road game. Didn't think we played all that well, but, stayed in it, had a chance to win it, and then dropped that game. But, after that, you got 2 home games, Oregon State and Colorado, which are both, call it like it is. Those are winnable games, and those are games that you have to win heading into the Big 12 gauntlet. So I think the big thing is they stop making shots, which is as simple as it comes in basketball. I mean, the team going into the UCLA game was, I think, 19th in the country in three-point percentage. We were really shooting it well over in Maui, and then even getting back here, we pounded Oklahoma and downtown Phoenix. Had beat Texas and Maui, had some really good wins, and yeah, just unfortunately the basketball hasn't been going through the hoop as of late, especially from behind the line. So I think that's the big thing for the Sun Devils, and then obviously. They're beat up the last couple of weeks. They're only dressing 8 scholarship guys right now after being a pretty deep team most of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the injury report. Obviously, Bryce Ford's dealing with a hip situation. Marcus Adams Jr., has a back. I understand that Ford is questionable. Is he expected to play? What do you think's going to happen there in terms of tonight? Adams has been ruled out.
I think Adams is going to be a couple weeks, obviously, but I think Bryce is going to try to give it a go tonight. From what I've told, but that being said, he's tried to give it a go the last 2 games and hasn't been able to go. So I think he'll warm up, but I wouldn't probably count on Bryce. But I think the Sun Devils would really like to have him in the lineup just because he stretches the floor. He's a 3-point shooter. Just adds another body against a team that Arizona presents so many challenges and can very easily get you in foul trouble. So, last thing you want to have tonight on the road against Arizona is a short bench.
We're chatting with the radio analyst for the Arizona State Sun Devils, Kyle Dodd. It is your scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there. A lot of new names, obviously, on this roster that we have not seen before. Let's start with the guy that's doing the majority of, or at least the most of the scoring, and that's Maurice Odom. What has been special about what he's added to this team so far this year?
Mo's just a great college point guard, a really good leader, kind of a throwback type guy. He's from the Bronx. He's a tough kid. I've been telling people all week he's a guy that will get in your tail and get after you in practice and get on the guys, but then he'll also love on his guys. He's just a really good leader, hard-nosed, tough player, runs the ball club. He was really good early, very good in Maui. They actually nicknamed him Maui Mo. He won over the whole tournament there. Everybody loved watching him play. He was making some crazy shots, and I think he's a huge key when he's making shots, and he sees the floor really well, and he runs the team every night no matter what. But if he's making shots, it just offers another dynamic to this team.
Another guy that kind of stood out there in Maui and has really kind of found his scoring punch is Masamba Jomp. I mean, he's athletic, he's agile, a pretty nice big man, it seems.
Yeah, he's special. I think, to be honest, if he left after this year, I think somebody would take a chance on him in the NBA. I think he's that gifted. I think if he spends another year in college basketball, I think he has a chance to be a lottery pick. He's that good. He's that raw. I mean, he's still scratching the surface, and he's already good. So, I mean, I think he gets better, honestly, every night that I see him. He's very, very skilled, kid from Senegal, but trained and played in the Real Madrid system. And he just has phenomenal touch around the basket. He can handle it, block shots. I think he does have to get better rebounding-wise. I don't think he realizes how big and gifted and athletic he is sometimes. But, very, very nice get for the Sun Devils. Kind of a, well-kept secret. And I think now the word's out. He's a very, very nice player.
So what do you think is going to be the key for him against Motias Krivas tonight?
I think just trying to make it tough on them. I think the big thing for all the Sun Devils is keep them off the glass. ASU, we've had some small teams that they're scrappy under Bobby Hurley. This team is actually got some decent size. I mean, when they're healthy, they were starting 6'11", 6'11", and 7'1". That being said, they're not that physical. Those are, more perimeter guys. A Santiago Truitt that's 6'11" that starts. He's a physical guy. He's got a rebound. But I think the whole front line has got to do a good job of keeping Arizona off the glass, which is, easier said than done.
You mentioned, obviously, Santiago Truitt. He had a big game against Kansas State in terms of rebounds. He led the squad, had 10. In terms of the way Bobby put this team together this year, what did he have a certain focus in terms of what he was looking for to try to make this team into what he wanted to be for 25-26?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think last year we spent some money and had some resources and got a very talented, gifted roster, and it looked really good at the beginning, and then kind of fell apart with injuries and high maintenance guys, and what you see around college basketball everywhere. It's just a different world. But this year, there's no secret. Bobby was, in the last year of his deal, he didn't get a deal. Didn't get extended. I think he went after guys that he said, "Hey, my back's against the wall. I'm a fighter, and I want guys that want to do the same." And these are guys that not a lot of people knew. Not a lot of people talked about. They're, we got NAIA guys. We got guys transferring up. They're not high money guys. I mean, I think we spend the least amount of money in the Big 12, but I'll tell you this, they've been my favorite group that I've been around in several years, just as far as kids that are just good kids, want to be around each other, pull for each other. They accept coaching, which is very rare. And yeah, I'm rooting for them big time, because I think until they hit this little snag, they had a chance to really surprise some people. I think the league is obviously disgustingly good, but it's, I think they had a chance to be in the middle of the pack there. And, I still think if they could, there's a lot of winnable games on the back half of the schedule. Unfortunately, our first 3 road games were BYU, U of A, and Houston, which is, I don't think a lot of teams are getting wins in those buildings. So
outside of Arizona, obviously the number 1 team in the country and undefeated on the year, who do you think is the best team in this league? I mean, obviously we saw Iowa State go down last night, big time on the road at Kansas. Who do you think is the best team next to Arizona?
Yeah, I think Houston. I mean, I just think I respect what Kelvin Sampson does. I think they're always tough. I think there's teams that are probably more talented. BYU's got all the makings of a team that can make a run. I think that, they're not super deep. They spent a lot of money on that starting 5, but, they got to figure out some stuff, some guys coming off the bench. But, I just think Houston's just tough. I think they're well coached, and I think that's the team that, if it's going to challenge Arizona, it would be them. But, I mean, it's just, I was looking at I think everybody saw it yesterday up until the Iowa State game last night. The top 4 teams in the conference were 62-2. And at that point, the only 2 losses were like a 2-point loss to Connecticut and a 3-point loss to Tennessee. So it's not a conference to be messed with, and that's why you got to handle business at home in games that you should win.
We're chatting with the radio analyst for the Arizona State Network, and that is Kyle Dodd. It is your scouting report brought to you by Jack Freyer Tire and Auto Care. Jack Freyer since 1960. Here to get you there. I know I'm going to butcher this name. Is it Andrea Gorbovic?
Yeah, Grabovich. Yeah,
Grabovich.
Yeah.
Andrea Grabovich.
Don't worry, I just call him AG. So.
There you go. Make it easy on ourselves. Is he kind of an off-the-bench guy that can give you some scoring? Looks like he shoots the 3 pretty well.
Yeah, so he was up until some injuries that they had gone with the same starting lineup, I think, the first 10 games of the year, and he was at the 3, which, like I said, he's 6'11" guy, but he's more of a perimeter guy. So, yeah, he makes threes, makes open shots, very, very skilled player. Again, European guy, so, he has the, sees the floor, makes the interior passing, all that stuff. I think his next step is just becoming more physical, understanding the importance of guarding and boxing out and doing those little things. But he definitely has a lot of value on this team, and he's a guy that when he's making shots, it's just another guy to stretch the floor, like I said. And it seems like when he's playing well, the Devils are playing well as well.
You mentioned, obviously, that Bobby did not get an extension playing in the final year of his deal. What do you think the administration wants to see from this team this year?
I mean, I think, it's no secret. I mean, everybody's trying to get to the dance. They're trying to get to the tournament. I feel like, COVID, that COVID situation probably hurt, Coach Hurley and his program as bad as anybody. And then on that, after that, you go right into the era of the transfer portal and NIL, which has turned college sports upside down. But I mean, he going into that when the world stopped, I mean, we were going into our third straight NCAA tournament, third straight 20-win seasons, which hadn't happened in 60 years at ASU, And he has a top 5 recruiting class, 2 5-star kids coming in. Remy Martin's coming back, and then, you're playing in front of no fans. And that year, the 2 stud freshmen decided to just kind of take the year off. Remy didn't care about playing in front of no fans, and it just kind of derailed everything. So I think he's been, then he's kind of had some ups and downs the last couple of years, and I think the big thing is they're just trying to get back to the tournament. I think everybody around the program wants that, the coaching staff, and I think the administration wants that. So I think, in this league, I told someone earlier, I think if you went 2-7 on the road and 7-2 at home, you'd probably get in. So I think that's probably the goal.
What's the feeling just overall around Arizona State? We're almost 2 years in now on Graham Rossini's administration here. Obviously made a big time hire on the women's basketball side, pulling Molly Miller out of GCU. What's the general thought process on where he is and how he's led?
Yeah, I think it's been great. Graham's a Sun Devil, leading other Sun Devils. Big part of Sun Devil athletics for a long time, and then now in this role, I think he's injected a lot of life into the program, teaming up with guys like Kenny in the football program, and hiring Molly Miller and getting some of these things that are generating some excitement. And I mean, we've all heard, especially down, or up here in Tempe, we've all heard it for years. It's the sleeping giant. It's the sleeping giant. It's like, well, yeah, like I was so tired of hearing them. Like at some point you got to wake your ass up, So I think Graham has done a really good job of, like I said, embracing what Kenny's doing on the football program and putting, having that trickle down to the other sports and just injecting life into the athletic department. I think they're really kind of going after the Sun Devils leading Sun Devils. Like I said, we got a lot of people that are former ASU people that are in charge.
There you go. Well, there's people that like that, and there's people that don't like that, bringing back alums. But I've always been one that I think the people that understand the program will do it the best, and we've seen that process work at times and not work at other times. But we'll see how that kind of rolls on as we continue into this new era of college athletics. Kyle, have a great call tonight with Mr. Hurley, and we will chat with you again in the future.
Sounds good. I appreciate the time.
All right. That is Kyle Dodd, and that is your scouting report for tonight.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The Scouting Report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Hold on, that wasn't Santa's sleigh. That was a Blazer EV flying off the lot at the Red Tag event at O'Reilly Chevrolet. We've got Red Tag pricing on the latest electric Chevys, and yes, we have the inventory. Get Red Tag O'Reilly pricing and supercharge your holidays with shockingly great deals that'll make your own gas tank jealous. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. EVs at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a Neighborly company.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
And Burry's handling point will bring it down to Del Orso. Top of the three-point line. Deli slides left, dump it off. Awaka's going to drive right all the way to the bucket, laid up and good.
Yeah, Awaka just does such a great job of using his shoulders for separation, staying on balance, realizing that Micah Robinson's too small.
6 points for Tobey.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right. There are games in the Big 12, Tuesday, Wednesday for the early part of the schedule this week. There were 3 games last night. Number 7, Houston beat West Virginia 77-48. The Cougars are 16-1, 4-0 in the Big 12. In a battle of teams near the bottom, it was Baylor 94, Oklahoma State 79. Baylor now 1-3, Oklahoma State 1-3. The game of the night, though, was in Lawrence, Kansas, and it was not close.
Council hooks a pass to Bidunga. He rocks that rim. A two-hand monster jam. Shot clock at 5. He's got to hurry. Elevates, fires, and delivers. Darren Peterson to the rescue, and KU goes up 20.
That first highlight there, I think that's what you call a Bidunga dunk. Flory Bidunga. And Darren Peterson and the Kansas Jayhawks, unranked. Remember, we said they would likely be unranked after losing at West Virginia over the weekend. Blow out number 2 Iowa State at home, 84-63. This game was never close. They were up 20, like really, really early.
It was close about 10 minutes in, and then Kansas went on a 24-2 run and took the crazy lead at halftime. But then, actually, in the second half, there was a little bit of a run back the other way. Kansas closed that door. They got Badungud and Fieldhouse in the same day.
Badungud and Fieldhouse, for sure. Trey White had a double-double, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Kansas 2-2, first loss of the season for Iowa State. So they are bounced from the realm of the unbeaten are the Cyclones. Now just, let's see, I'll have to tell you later who's left in that respect. All right, games tonight in the conference. In fact, 2 games are in progress right now. Late second half, Cincinnati leading Colorado 61-54. The Bearcats have yet to win a game in the conference at 0-3. Colorado is 2-1. Central Florida leading at Kansas State 42-28. So the Wildcats in danger of being 0-4 to start things tonight. 15th ranked Texas Tech going to host Utah this evening down in Lubbock. They are 12-4, 2-1. BYU 15-1 on the year, and number 11 in the country, 3-0 in conference play, will host TCU this evening. And of course, the Wildcats and the Sun Devils are going to do battle here in Southern Arizona. All right, games in the top 25. We have one final on the board. Big Ten. 5th-ranked Purdue beats Iowa 79-72. The Boilermakers are 16-1, undefeated, 6-0 so far in conference play. Games in progress right now. A tight one in the SEC with about 6 minutes to go. Number 21, Georgia leading or tied with Ole Miss. 73-73 is the score in that game right there. Early Big Ten, Illinois and Northwestern doing battle there tonight. Other games on the horizon, you've got number 10 Vanderbilt at Texas. Sean Miller and company are just 1-2 so far in the SEC in his first season. 14th ranked North Carolina on the road out west against Stanford. That still sounds weird to say, but the Tar Heels are 2-1 in conference. Also, 17th ranked Arkansas going to host South Carolina tonight in the SEC. Number 23 Utah State will welcome in Nevada in a Big West or Mountain West matchup. The Utah State is ranked 23rd, and they are 5-0. Nevada comes in at 4-1, so that should be a good one. Number 4, Michigan on the road at Washington. Michigan obviously coming off their first loss of the season over the weekend against Wisconsin. Will try to bounce back and beat the Huskies, who are 2-3 in conference play so far. 6th ranked Duke also on the West Coast at Haas Pavilion, taking on California tonight. The Blue Devils are 15-1, 4-0 in the ACC. California has lost 3 of their first 4 games in conference play.
I got the undefeated teams for you if you want.
Yes.
Yeah, same. It's Final Four, DK. It's the same 5 teams that were undefeated prior to that loss by Iowa State. Arizona, Vanderbilt, you might expect.
Yes.
Miami of Ohio, you might expect. Nebraska, still undefeated and off to their best start ever. I think 17-0 is what I saw last. So best start in program history. 17-0 are the Cornhuskers.
There you go. Arizona women's basketball will be back on the floor Saturday. They go on the road to TCU. TCU is one of the best teams in the, if not the best team, in the Big 12 conference, and that will not be any easy contest for the Wildcats, especially considering they're going to be without Michaela Purdue. We heard from Becky Burke this morning. You heard her press conference live here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Here's what she had to say about the injury and timeline for Michaela Purdue.
Go too much into Mickey. What happened with her, and what's prognosis, all that kind of stuff right now?
Yeah, obviously just injured her wrist, unfortunately, and we're kind of just still waiting on a firm time frame. I don't think anything is solidified right now. But yeah, like again, this week was so important for practice too, just to have some more practices without Mickey. You know, like UCF was our first game without her, still trying to navigate, 24 hours earlier the news. So it's something that we're still working through. I would choose any day of the week to have Mickey versus not having her. But there's nothing, I think, set in stone as far as return. I think it's all just going to be kind of play it by ear, see how she's doing, see how she's feeling, see how she's healing. But that's obviously way above my pay grade, so I just listen to what they tell me. And when she's back, we'll be ready to have her back for sure. But it's been an adjustment for us. That's your leading scorer, quote unquote, one of your best players. And it's been an adjustment, but what an opportunity for some other people to step up. What an opportunity for us to go get a couple wins without her when there's not one person outside this building that thinks that's going to happen, So it's a cool kind of backs against the wall, even more underdogs than we already were, to go steal a couple. And I think we've got a great mindset about it.
4 ranked teams in the conference in terms of the Big 12 right now. Surprisingly, Iowa State is kind of sliding. They're 19th. They've lost 3 games already in conference play at 2-3. Their first 3 losses of the season. TCU is currently number 10 in the country. They are 16-1, 4-1. Sitting at the top of the conference on the women's side is 17th ranked Texas Tech at 19-0 on the season, with 6 of those coming in the Big 12. That is your scoreboard for the moment.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, before we get to who's going to be that Sun Devil that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin, let's go over some of the guys it might be getting under the skin tonight. You heard earlier Bobby Hurley, and we talked about the international flavor that he's got on this roster. One of those guys is Masamba Diop. He has started all 16 games. This is going to be an interesting battle tonight of bigs. Diop 7-1 and shooting at a very high percentage in terms from the floor, where he shoots 66%. He's also a very good free thrower, very similar to Motias Krivas. Let's hear from the head coach, Bobby Hurley, on Masamba Diop and the challenge he's going to face tonight against the Wildcats.
Yeah, Masamba is, he's going to be tested in the most severe way, in this game. And, his play has been encouraging. I mean, he's always shown this huge upside. And he's where he's taken steps and has shown growth is the defensive end for us, which we need desperately. His length and activity in the paint. And Arizona is as good as anybody in the country at scoring in the lane, whether it's throwing it into their big guys, getting an offensive rebound, or their guards attacking the basket. So, his presence is going to be crucial in our ability to hang in with Arizona in the paint.
You heard earlier in the program from Maurice Odom, also known as Mo Odom, because, of course, Mo is short for Maurice, and also his initials are M-O, Mo, and he really lit it up in the Maui Invitational, so they started calling him Maui Mo, kind of like when Umar Bala went over there, and it was Maui O. Maurice Odom, who always wanted to be a Sun Devil, will have the ball in his hands tonight. And don't think if Mr. Diop tries to set a pick for him that he might not just go the other way.
Usually people don't like to let me go on the screen because I could find people open. So they usually like to over-aggressive and just jump on my right side. So I spend a lot of time rejecting screens in the pull-up shots, floaters, passes across the court. Just different reads out of the rejection.
Calvin, what does a guard, a ball handler, what do they get most out of rejecting a screen?
Well, you don't get double teamed. A lot of time when you go over the screen, they double team you with the big, try to force the ball out of your hands, especially when you are a scorer and a leading assist guy like him. So they'll double you, hard hit you, and let the guard come back and help. You get a lot of attention. So when you go away from the screen, you're still one-on-one with the guard with the threat of using the screen. So you get to get downhill a lot of times, and I've seen him. He gets to that pull-up and to that floater real nice, and he's the lead assist guy on their team as well.
It's also easy to think about if you think about the way you pitch a power hitter, right? So, like, a guy's got power inside DK. You're not going to give him a pitch early. You're going to give him a pitch that he doesn't want to see. So he's going to take it. And eventually he's looking for a certain pitch. He might, swing for the fences. As far as combo guards who can facilitate and score a little bit on their own, if the defensive players start playing a little bit heavy on those screens, that's when you reject it. It's because the defensive player is going to be out of position because they've been trying to keep you from going over the top and driving past that screen. And so it's really just kind of a chess game. It's not necessarily every single time he's going to reject. It's based completely on what the defense is doing. And great guards on those high ball screens will read the defense and then make their choice as to what they're going to do.
All right, so who is going to be that Sun Devil that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? Let's find out.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science in Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right. I think I'm going to go with, we talked a lot about the international guys, so I think I'm going to go with an international player. How about Noah Muson? I think is they didn't give. I couldn't find a phonetics guide here, so I'm probably butchering these names. How do you have 7 international guys and you don't have a phonetic?
Well, they're not used to it, DK. Like you said, like we're finally getting on board with recruiting international guys.
Come on,
their PR department behind the scenes is not doing their job.
I'm going to have to get on Doug Tamaro for not putting this pronunciation guide in here, so I know how to pronounce his players' names. I don't want to. I'm not purposely trying to screw those names up, Doug, my guy. Sorry about your Steelers, but that happens sometimes. Noah Muson, I'm going to go with him. He is out of Belgium. Sophomore, 6'5", seems to be probably one of the leaders in terms of that group of international players. Can shoot the three a little bit, but really more of a defensive player, I think, for this team, and that could be something that causes issues for Arizona tonight.
It says here Mason or Meason.
Meason?
Mason or Meason.
Mason or Meason. Okay.
Phonetically.
There we go. All right.
I did not find that on the Sun Devils website. Okay. I had to find it on my own.
Good job. Who do you got, Mr. JW?
I'm going to go with Diop because,
is
normally.
it Diop or is it Jop?
Well, I'm going to go with Diop. Okay. No disrespect, Mr. Diop. I think, as far as my pests are usually guys who shoot a lot of threes, get a lot of steals, but this Sun Devil team has no chance if Basamba Diop does not perform in the paint versus the Arizona Wildcats. So it's not necessarily he's going to be pesty as far as our normal pest terms go, but if that's a guy who can block some shots, can get some good offensive rebound action down there and some second chance points, then there's going to maybe be a little bit of ripple effect with the rest of the Sun Devils, and that's how you get their guys' confidence up as well. So as far as setting screens, getting rebounds, blocking some shots, that's the guy for me today.
Calvin.
My guy is number 2 because I've been watching him, Anthony Pig Johnson. I said number 2 because I'm watching the highlights, man, and every time I'm looking, he's getting a steal. He's getting a dunk. I'm looking at the average, and I'm like, he only averaged like 1.5 steals. I mean, I swear in the games I was watching, it seemed like he was getting 2 or 3, and he's always finishing downhill. To me, he's the best because he can bring a scoring dynamic to the team to help people get off Odom a little bit. So, yeah, Pig Johnson for me.
Pig Johnson. All right. I like that nickname right there. Those are the guys.
Out of Midfield, Alabama.
Midfield, Alabama. Those are the guys that we think are going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight.
That's our Pest of the Game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science in Tucson at essentialpest.com. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Dunright Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, trust a true local Tucson company, Dunright Services. We pride ourselves on delivering top-notch service, fair pricing, and expert craftsmanship. The job isn't finished unless it's done right. Weekend emergency? No problem. Just give us a call. We're here when you need us. You deserve the best, and Done Right Services delivers. Call us today for a free estimate at 520-369-3966.
Hi guys, I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance, where you are a priority.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
I grew up in a broken home, and I remember being homeless and being pregnant in Tucson. I remember being scared, and I went to Gospel Rescue Mission at Christmas time. And that was when everything changed. The gospel did more than just keep me sober. I started finding myself. Hi, I'm Christina, and I've been clean and sober for almost 6 years.
Go to grmtucson.com to give today.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Burries goes opposite the screen into the lane, force the shot up short. Rebound, Burries will save it. And the Cats keep it. No reset on the shot clock. 3, Del Orso for 3 straight away, and he buries it from out top.
Deep 3 by Daly from the U on a TCU at half court.
He missed 13 of his last 14 out there. Gets that one as the clock's running out.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, number one team in the country, Arizona Wildcats, Arizona State Sun Devils coming up from McHale Center. Tip-off straight ahead at 8:30. We've got you for one more hour number 3 of our show. We are going to see if we can beat the book coming up in this segment. Arizona enters this game a 21.5-point favorite over the Sun Devils. Your over-under is 148.5. We'll get your view from courtside. We're going to check in and find out how things are going with one Caleb Love up in the NBA. His first season playing with the Portland Trailblazers. They've had a ton of injuries this season that has allowed Caleb to get on the floor. And so we'll check in with Joe Freeman, who writes the beat up there. The team lost last night, did the Blazers, on the road to the Golden State Warriors, 119-97. Caleb played a team-high 34 minutes in that game. 34 minutes, going 5 of 16, 2 of 9 from 3, 5 of 8 from the line. He had 17.7 assists in that game. A loss, though, to the Golden State
Getting his shots
Warriors.
up, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
That's a very Caleb line there, 5 of 16.
Here's the thing. They got, 5 or 6 guards in their rotation that are out with injuries. And as a two-way player, Caleb Love may not stick around with Portland, but he's going to find a home somewhere. So the more shots he gets up, the more he can put on film that he can be a guy who can score at that level, the better for his future in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel like Portland may try to find some kind of way to keep him. I mean, they gave him the opportunity, and I hated that he didn't get drafted late in the first round. I thought he was that type of talent, but I knew, being an older guy, sometimes they do that. But he could have easily been drafted in the second round, and he would have been a draft pick. But with that being said, being able to be a free agent, he was able to pick a place where he would have an opportunity, knowing that Dame Lillard was hurt, and he's making the most of it.
So, yes, we will hear from Joe Freeman of the Oregonian coming up in our next segment and get you updated on what's happening with Caleb Love. Keys to the game will also be headed your way a little bit later. Those are always brought to you by Royal Automotive and your starting lineup. Don't think that has changed very much. We talked about all the injuries that the Sun Devils have got going on. Their injury report is rather large. The Wildcats do not have anybody. I should say the availability. Let me make sure I get that right. People will be upset. It's the availability report. No Wildcats are on your availability report. Sponsored currently by nobody. But, of course, if you want to sponsor the availability report, that opportunity is out there for you. We mentioned in our conversation with Kyle Dodd that the Sun Devils could potentially be without 2 of their bigger players tonight. Well, they're definitely going to be without 1 of their players actually, we've gotten the updated roster now. Marcus Adams, we told you, was out for sure, and it appears now going in that Bryce Ford was questionable, but he is the most recent report, which just came out. This just came out minutes ago. It's 90 minutes before tip-off is when the last availability report comes out. Bryce Ford is no longer on the injury report. So that's good news if you're a Sun Devil fan. It appears that Bryce Ford, the guard out of Glendale, is good to go tonight for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Scottsdale, not Glendale. He went to Pinnacle. Scottsdale, Pinnacle.
Yeah, he's missed their last 3 games, I think.
Yeah, 3 games for sure. In terms of the Wildcats and Tommy Lloyd, now we've talked about and J-Dub kind of brought it up a few games ago, the kill shots. Those are 10-0 runs or more, and the Wildcats have pretty much had at least 1, and in a lot of games they have had more than 1 of those 10-0 runs. They had another one in their win against TCU over the weekend. It has been a large reason, and the thing that's maybe different now is that we're starting to see these runs earlier. They had been kind of second half focused for the Wildcats through the large part of November, December. But now, since conference play started, we've seen the Wildcats jump out on teams right off the get-go. And we've seen a lot of these 10-0 runs recently come in the first 10 minutes of the game, as the Wildcats have been able to jump out to double-digit leads at Utah and against Kansas State and TCU, as well as they've gotten off to an undefeated start in conference play. But again, every team is going to make a run, and how you handle that run has been key for the Wildcats as well. They've been very good at that. Tommy Lloyd this week talked about what happens and the challenges when that opponent makes their run.
My deal is, I mean, you look at runs and, obviously we got to respond, but it's not like I'm sitting there saying, let's let Coach Dixon's team go on a run right now because this would be great for us to deal with. I mean, again, it's one of these situations. You read and react as the game's going, and you have to have responses. You have to have kind of these trained responses to adverse situations, so there is no panic. And there is comfort in being a little bit uncomfortable. There is comfort in not playing well and being able to respond for it. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm thankful, for great competition because that's what drives this. And so far this year, I mean, our guys have had a lot of answers. But, that doesn't mean we should have hubris and think that just because we've done it a few times that we're going to do it again, because Wednesday's game is going to present a lot of challenges. The moment that ball goes up, there's going to be challenges, and we're going to have responses and solutions to those challenges.
Kelvin, as a coach, what do you try to tell your team about how they need to respond when that opponent goes on a run?
I'm just telling them stay cool, calm, and collected. This is basketball. This is why we play the game. This is why we love the game, that the other team has a chance to actually beat you. Even when you are the bigger name and you're supposed to be the better team, they have a chance to beat you. You have to relish those moments. You have to love those moments. And whenever I'm in a situation like that, I get the guys looking right in the face and just smile and laugh and say, you got to love these moments. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, and then you go from there, man, and you just get back and just let them know, let's execute. You go to a play or you go to a guy that you could trust, to get you a bucket, but you lean on your defense. You lean on telling the guys that we got to get some stops, guys. We got to lock up. Maybe we come out with a trap. Maybe we come into a zone to force them to, miss some threes. But, as a coach, you just try to make sure everybody stay cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important aspect to have, because you're going to face that, and generally you're going to face it more than once inside of a 40-minute basketball game for sure.
It helps to build your team around defense and rebounding, right? Because, you get those 10-0 runs by getting stops and by being efficient offensively. You stop 10-0 runs against you by, obviously getting stops on the defensive end. But if you don't allow teams to get a lot of second chance points, Kelvin, and you don't turn the ball over a lot and lead to open runouts. I mean, that's what Coach Olson was famous for, was those 10-0 runs. You'd look up at the clock and it would be, 10 minutes left in the game and a one-possession game, and you'd look back up 2 minutes later and Arizona's up 15. So that idea of slowing those down, I'm not sure what the official stats are, DK, but what I'm looking at, it says Arizona is 8th in the nation in kill shots per game. And 2nd in the nation in least kill shots given up. So that's the big reason you're seeing these 20-point wins. Big reason Arizona's undefeated is they're really doing a great job of slowing teams down once they get string a couple of buckets together.
JW, let's go back to 6.4 here. I want the folks to hear from Tommy Lloyd. We mentioned in our interview with Kyle Dodge some of the guys that you're going to see on that Sun Devil side tonight. And I did go check. It is Jop. Masamba Jop is the correct way to pronounce his name. I'm still working on the other kid, though. We'll get that out of here before we leave tonight. But Tommy said that ASU has always had decent size and athleticism in the years that he's been in this rivalry.
They've had decent size. They've always had, a couple active guys that are close to 7 feet that are good athletes. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a lot bigger. I think they're mixing and matching some lineups now, so they might play, with 3 of the bigger guys at one time, here and there. But I don't feel like it's a team that's necessarily, bigger than they've had in the past. They've always had good size. They've always had good athletes.
And yeah, they have. And again, it's a team that was playing extremely well in the latter part of November and early in December before they hit that rough patch that was kind of, again, spawned by some games against the former Pac-10. In fact, you look at their games this year, they've lost to Gonzaga, the number 19 team in the country at the time, and then they've lost to some of their old Pac-12 brethren. They lost to USC in the championship game, at Maui. They got there and with some win, they beat Sean Miller. I remember watching that game back right before Thanksgiving. They beat Sean Miller to get there. They knocked off Washington State to get into that championship game before USC took them out. Then they had to go out to Los Angeles, and that was not an easy go as they fell to UCLA at Poly Pavilion, 90-77. Then they came home and lost to Oregon State and Colorado. Obviously, Oregon State, a former Pac-12 foe, and Colorado also, but now in the Big 12. And then they went and had to go on the road at number 9 BYU. So a 4-game losing streak prior to that win at home against Kansas State on Saturday.
1/3 of their games are versus former Pac-12 teams.
Yeah.
1/3 of their 16 games are versus former Pac-12 teams.
Yes, again, if that, now I like to see. I mean, I like it just because you're playing teams on the west side of the country, and those are teams that those are good games to get against other Power 4 teams. So I got no problem with that kind of scheduling at all from Bobby Hurley. All right, let's find out if we can beat the book.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, DK plus 10, J-Dub plus 8. Is that right? Yeah, 8. And Kelvin plus 2 so far this season. So everybody is in the money right now, which is good. Tonight you've got Arizona plus 21.5. We'll start today with J-Dub. J-Dub, Arizona and 21.5 against the rivals.
You throw out the records, rivalry, all that stuff. I think ASU always plays Arizona tough regardless of their roster. However, I'm looking at some of their more recent results, and they lost by 23 to UCLA. They got blown out at BYU, both road games. And with the depletion that you mentioned of some of their players being banged up, I just think Arizona goes in this game with a lot of purpose, and they come out strong. They've had so many strong starts their last 5 games. So I think Arizona gets out to a big lead, and I think they win by right around there, about 25. So I'll say they cover the 23.
Okay, J-Dub is saying they're going to cover the spread tonight. I don't know that I like that number in a rivalry game. And again, I know that this is a rivalry that the Wildcats have owned with almost 83-plus more wins. This is game number 250 in this rivalry, and I just think it's going to be a little bit more of a battle than what that line there indicates. So I'm going to take the Devils and that 21.5 points tonight. Kelvin.
Yeah, nah, I think U of A is going to be able to cover. I just think that, man, I've been going against them a little bit, with the 20-point covers, and they got them, so I can't go against them in this one because I think these guys with Core Pete and just the character of some of these guys on the team, when I think of Aristod being ticked off because they lost last year and he wasn't even here, and I think I just think these guys are going to come out and just play great. I think they're going to take it as a true rival.
By the way, it's 11 out of the last 12
that the Wildcats
U of A has won. Yeah,
so the only loss was the buzzer beater.
Just the buzzer beater in February of 2023.
Yeah. All right, so I'm the only one that's going to take ASU in those points. Your over-under is 148.5. We'll go in reverse order and start with Kelvin on that one. 148.5 tonight.
Yeah, I think it's over. I definitely respect their guards' offensive scoring ability. I think it's going to be tough on their bigs, but I think they're going to score enough to get us over the hump for us to cover that.
I'm going to stick with the over. It's been the over. We've been on a run of the overs. This is like roulette when you get on one color and you stick with it. I generally play the blacks, so I'm going to stick with the overs today.
Yeah, that's really low, too. That's like 74, 75, something like that. Yeah, so I think over as well.
All right, so everybody's taking the over. Kelvin and J-Dub are taking the Wildcats, laying the 21.5. I'm taking that 21.5 in my pocket and the Sun Devils tonight. We'll see who beats the book when it's all said and done.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way has important news.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
The holidays are here, and so are the Red Tag savings on new Chevrolets at O'Reilly Chevrolet. We've got Red Tag inventory and pricing on the latest Silverado, Equinox, and Traverse models, and yes, we have inventory. Get Red Tag O'Reilly pricing on brand new Chevys and unwrap great holiday deals and unbeatable pricing all season long. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No. They use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope. Only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Now 2.2 left, 3-point lead for Iowa State. Wildcats will inbound the ball. They need a 3 to get to overtime. Del Orso running the line. Get it off to Love. Love, midcourt. Shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
All right, we are getting close to the midway point of the National Basketball Association season. Always great to check in and see how our Arizona basketball alums are doing. In particular, one young man who excited this fan base for the last few years and is now in his rookie season in the NBA, Caleb Love, playing up with the Portland Trail Blazers. Currently, 4th place in the Northwest Division. Pleased to be joined by Joe Freeman. He writes the beat for the Oregonian up in Portland. And Joe, appreciate you taking some time to join us. First of all, give us your assessment of this Blazers team through 41 games.
Oh, wow. Well, it's been quite a season. On the morning after the season opener, Coach Chauncey Billups was arrested by federal agents at his home in a Portland suburb, which kind of set an ominous and completely insane tone for the season. And then, the Blazers have gone on to endure kind of an unfathomable rash of injuries. Their best player, their breakout star, Denny Avdiya, he'll be the 12th player on the 15-man regular roster to miss games this season, and those 12 players have missed a combined 226 games.
Wow.
The team played 27 without a natural point guard. They played one game without a traditional center. It's just been kind of a blank show all season, if you will, on the injury front. But, they've battled adversity pretty well so far. They just reeled off 5 wins and 7 of 8 games to kind of creep near 500. And they crossed the midway point of the season. They hit the midway point of the season tonight, 2 games under 500. So all things considered, it could be a lot worse for kind of a team that is in an important transitional year that's kind of nearing a multi-year roster rebuild.
Now, Joe, I am a casual follower of the National Basketball Association, so I always find it interesting when I look at some of these rosters and look at guys. And you just mentioned Denny Avdiya. I'd never heard of him until I started researching for this interview. So tell the folks maybe who are like me a little bit about this young man that came over his second season after starting his career with the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, the Blazers had kind of been enamored with him for years and had multiple attempts to try to pry him from Washington, where he started his career. He was a lottery pick. He's from Israel, and then they finally plucked him away before last season, and he had an exceptional second half of the year last year when the team also excelled, going 23-18 and kind of a large surprise in the second half of last season. And he's emerged this year as I think most would agree an all-star. It's widely believed that he'll make his first all-star game this year. He finished 7th in the West in fan voting, and it seems likely that coaches will vote him in when that happens in a couple weeks. But he's one of 2 players that ranks in the top 5 in total points and assists. He's averaging 26.1 points and about 7 rebounds and 7 assists a game. Really having an incredible season. They call him Turbo, kind of a nickname given to him in his days in Washington because, kind of on the NBA 2K mode. He just, he's so reckless and fearless with his transition game and his drives to the basket that a teammate kind of dubbed him Turbo. But he's really become the face of the franchise and an integral part of their, like I said, which is a multi-year roster rebuild as they kind of transition into competing for wins rather than lottery ping pong balls.
Joe Freeman is our guest. He is the beat writer for the Portland Trailblazers with the Oregonian up in Portland. And obviously, you mentioned the injuries that this team has gone through. That has allowed our Arizona Wildcat, Caleb Love, to see some floor time in his rookie season, averaging some 20 minutes so far early on. So obviously, he's taken advantage of that. But is the fact that he's on the floor, was that strictly driven by the fact that guys were out, or was there a thought coming in that Caleb might be able to see the floor in some high level fashion this season?
No, he's benefited directly from all the injuries.
Right.
He didn't play in the first 3 games. He didn't play in, I want to say, 8 of the first 10 games before injuries really took hold of the roster. He is on what they call a two-way contract in the NBA. The NBA has up to 15 regular roster spots and then an additional 3 two-way players. And what that means is those 3 two-way players can kind of vacillate back and forth between the NBA Development League, which is the Rip City Remix here in Portland, and in the NBA team, which is the Blazers here. So those players can play a maximum of 50 games in a season before they have to be converted to real contracts. So this was very much unexpected, and he has very much seized an unexpected opportunity, along the way.
And obviously, I mean, we saw him play here for 3 years. We know he can score. He's done that at 11-point-a-game clip so far in his first 32 games in the NBA. What's the overall assessment, though, of him in this early going? Is there a feeling that maybe this is a guy who eventually can stick and be a rotational player at this level?
Well, I can tell you that internally, the Blazers front office intends to convert him to a regular season contract when it can or when it's appropriate. And, if that doesn't happen immediately, certainly ahead of next season. So they have really enjoyed not only what he's brought them, but there's another two-way player, Sidy Cissoko, who has emerged alongside Caleb as another important figure on this team as it battles all these injuries. But as you guys and your listeners well know, Caleb is a very confident shooter, a very prolific scorer who has been mostly streaky, over his career, dating back to college days, and that kind of started or continued at the start of his unexpected surge this season. But what's kind of changed for him recently is he's a lot less streaky and just a lot more good, and certainly a lot more consistent. Over the last 11 games, he's playing the best basketball of his young career. He's averaging almost 17 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. And he's shooting 47%, including 42% from three-point range. And so that is a really solid stretch, not just for a rookie two-way player, but for any player to do that in his role. He's come off the bench and provided a team that even ahead of the season, despite all the injuries, was not filled with a lot of shooting. Blazers have a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, a lot of defense, and a lot of just gritty basketball players, but did not have a lot of shooting. And so, injuries or not, he has provided a vital aspect or a component to the team that it sorely needed. And so, in many ways, he's been one of the biggest surprises, rookies in the entire NBA, I would argue. And, along the way, I mentioned Sidy Cissoko. These two guys, as the Blazers have kind of, battled adversity and kind of defied odds in a lot of ways to be even in the thick of the playoff hunt. They entered the midseason in 9th place in the West, a couple games behind the Warriors. They've been really gritty and really gutsy and kind of, inner your cliche here about a scrappy player. And a lot of that is based off the play and the persona of their two-way guys, of Cissoko and of Caleb Love. These are two guys who are fighting for their NBA careers, their livelihood, and really excelling in a surprising situation. So in many ways, these kind of gritty Blazers have taken on the persona of guys like Caleb Love.
Well, I'm sure he would love to hear you say that, because he coined the term gritty boys here, which was the mantra for last season's Arizona Wildcats club.
Good to know.
Yeah, he would absolutely love to hear that for sure. You mentioned, obviously, the unfortunate situation that happened at the beginning of the season, but obviously there was a lot of fanfare over the summer with the return of Damian Lillard to the squad. What's anticipated going forward when he gets back? Is this a move that the Blazers feel like can put them back into the Western Conference conversation, or is this hey, this is one of the favorite all-time players here, and we want him to finish out his career here with whatever he has left?
I mean, there's a lot of unknown involved in this. An Achilles injury, as we all know, is a serious injury. And Damian certainly has thrived off of his athleticism and shooting as he's developed into an all-NBA and all-star point guard. But the hope, and I believe the belief internally with the organization, is that once he finishes this season of watching and rehabbing, he will immediately enter the fray as an important piece of a team that is next year should be poised to make a playoff push. This year, heading into things, this was kind of a transition year where, for the first time since Dame originally left, that they would be chasing a playoff berth instead of, chasing a lottery pick. And so there was a little bit of an unknown with this team of how good it could be, because it is filled with so many young players and so much young talent. I think now we've learned a lot more about this roster, injuries aside. There's a couple players that we still have questions about, but I think the hope is that plugging Damian Lillard and perhaps another move or two, from free agency or trades will thrust the Blazers back into being a playoff contender. And so, it's not just a swan song for him here in Portland. It's more of a let's get back to where things were before you left.
All right, next chance to see Caleb Love back here in the state of Arizona will be against the Phoenix Suns on Sunday, February 22nd. Up in the Valley, a tip-off at 6 o'clock. Hey, Joe, we appreciate you taking some time to update us on our guy, where he is in this rookie season, and continued success with your coverage of the Blazers.
All right, man. Thanks. Take care. Have a good day.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
There's never a good time for plumbing issues.
No.
Honey, my parents are here.
Oh, man.
Don't worry. With Drain Masters in Tucson, not only do you get local, professional, full-service plumbing with 24/7 scheduled or emergency service, you get a lifetime transferable warranty on all house water repiping. So this...
They brought my aunts and uncles, too!
...is gonna be fine. Drain Masters, we do it all. And now offering financing. Solid service, fair price, guaranteed. DrainMastersTucson.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
From work to errands to family life, your car takes a beating. At Recon Auto Detailing, we don't just protect it, we maintain it.
They installed my ceramic coating in shop, and now their mobile team keeps it looking brand new, right in my driveway.
Ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, all installed professionally at Recon Auto Detailing. And with our mobile detailing, we keep that fresh, protected look mile after mile. One-stop shop, zero hassle. That's Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Burries to the center circle now. Drives right on Posey. Burries gets into the paint. Jump it up from there, short. Rebound, punch, quickly out to Harding. Lost the ball, stolen by Burries. Bounce pass to Pete. Pete slams it home. Koa Pete to 20 points.
Koa Pete going to be instrumental tonight. This is a young man who was recruited by both of these teams. In fact, it came down to Arizona and Arizona State in his final two. And he chose the Wildcats over the Sun Devils. Jada, let's back up and hear from Bobby Hurley. What number was that? Bobby Hurley talked about the recruitment of Koa Pete. I know I put that one on here, but now I can't find it. 2.5. Bobby Hurley and recruiting Koa Pete, and Koa Pete deciding to go to U of A.
Special talent. Really, he's been a winner. At every stage. He's done it at the high school level and USA basketball, and he's a big part of what they do now. And doesn't play like a freshman. Doesn't look like a freshman.
Yeah, 20 points for Koa Pete in the win over TCU this past Saturday. Leads the team in scoring this season, 15 points a game. Also second on the team in assists. Is that surprising to you guys that he's second on the team in assists this season?
No, because I think, Kelvin, he sees the most doubles because after that 30-point outburst to start the season versus Florida, Ko is right at the top of everybody's scout. And so because he's got a lot of mid-range elbow-type moves and he's really effective from in there, that's a dangerous spot on the court. So defenders have to give extra defensive attention. And being as tall as he is and a willing passer, Kelvin, it doesn't surprise me that he's racked up the assists as a freshman because he sees so much extra defensive attention.
Yeah, exactly, and he has the ball a lot. He did a lot of that in high school. Every level he plays on, he has a lot of that point forward to him. If you think, if you really think about it, because he's able to initiate the offense, and he's definitely real good at throwing that hollow pass in there to Crevis and Awaka. That's probably half of the assist right there.
Speaking of Crevis and Awaka, they've been getting banged on there in the lane. We've talked about it. Every time they go in, there's a lot of hands, a lot of bodies, a lot of checking, all of that stuff. There have been games where they've gotten their shot blocked. Alabama comes to mind as being one of those games, but neither one of them has really complained much about that physical play, and Tommy Lloyd likes that from his two bigs.
I think he and Mo both have that. I think those guys have done an amazing job. They're obviously high effort, high physicality, type of players. And I think they understand that, they're also going to be on the receiving end of some physicality. And so I think they kind of accept it and they play through it. And I think at the end of the day, officials eventually respect that. So, and I respect the heck out of those two guys because it's not easy. It's not easy what they're asked to do. And, the physicality that goes with it, the workload that goes with it, with the style we play, we put a lot on those guys. And those guys they're warriors for sure.
Toby Awaka averaging a double-double for this team off the bench, 12 points and 10 rebounds this season. And we mentioned earlier in the show that Motiejus Krivas has 3 double-doubles already this season, the first 3 of his college career. And Tommy says it's not just those two guys, but this entire team is built for the physical play that they are going to see in the paint as this Big 12 conference season rolls on.
We're built for it. Bring it on. We got to, if people want to play us physical, we'll play physical back. And our guys probably got to figure out, how to find a few more advantages with that physicality. We had great officials today. We're not going to sit and beg for foul calls. That's how it goes. And you know what? On the road, this is how it goes sometimes. The other team plays spirited, and you maybe have a few calls you wish go your way, but they don't. So that's called reality, and you deal with it. You don't whine and complain about it. So, all in all, I'm happy with how our guys responded and with all the adversity that we faced.
Yeah, and he was obviously talking after the TCU game. This has been a team that, like I've said, I think that has responded at every turn so far this season. Tommy mentioned earlier that every game you're going to see tough times. So far, they've been able to meet all of those tough times to remain undefeated. 520-840.
I haven't even thought about it. Thanks. It's like, hey, what do you do when a guy's pitching a no-hitter? Do you go up to him and say, oh, you're doing great? No, I'm joking.
You've had when you have that first loss, it's kind of we knew we weren't going to go undefeated, so let's not even think about that.
This team has been, really strong at being in the moment and being process oriented, and so those are the things that we're trying to focus on. We're not getting enamored with the results or obsessed with outcomes. We're digging into processes because we understand doing the process right, more than your opponents usually allows, the outcome to come out in your favor. So, really keeping it that simple and just staying in the moment and kind of enjoying being with each other and enjoying the journey.
Kind of how it was in 21 when you were still at Gonzaga, that you guys did similar?
Oh, man, that was 5-6 years ago. So, yeah, I'm sure we had the same approach. I'm sure it was very similar, but, it's hard when you're telling a story, that basically a team that made it to the championship game undefeated. I'm not going to sit here and compare our team to that, or that's not fair to this team. And this team's gonna, it's gonna create its own way. It's on its own journey, and we'll see the twists and turns that take place, and we'll deal with them as we come upon them.
That was Tommy talking about just how his team is dealing with being undefeated this season so far.
Drew Timme, right? That was a loaded Zags team in 2021.
Yeah. The best start by an Arizona Wildcats club in 12 years, 2013-14, when the Wildcats started 21-0. That was a team, again, we've talked about before. It seemed like they were destined to get to the Final Four, and then Brandon Ashley got hurt. And again, you kind of cross your fingers, because this is an Arizona team that's been able to stay healthy to this point. And you look at some of these other teams. We talked about ASU comes in here. They've had a lot of injuries. The Wildcats have been fortunate. They've had a few things. Toby was hurt a little bit in camp, and obviously we've seen that wrap on Motias' hand, so there's obviously something potentially going on there. The big fella, CD, came down on his ankle a few games ago, so some minor things, but fortunately nothing that has been long-term or kept guys out of games so far this season, and that's a huge positive for this Arizona Wildcats team. Our guy Paul in Phoenix checks in. He wanted to get in on the Beat the Book last 2 segments ago. He says that he is taking the 21.5 points and the Scummies, and he is also taking the over in the game tonight. So he's with you guys.
He also texted me a couple hours ago privately and said, do not play that highlight from ASU winning half-court shots ever again. Thanks.
Ever again. There we go. All right, let's find out what the Wildcats need to do to win this game tonight.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, what do the Wildcats need to do to win against the rival Sun Devils tonight? It's interesting. This is a Sun Devil team. They like, and Bobby Hurley's teams have always been like this. They really like the chaos that comes out of these rivalry games. So don't let this game. I think the first thing is you've got to be under complete control tonight if you're the Arizona Wildcats. To me, that's always the most important thing in any rivalry game. You can't let the emotion of that night get to you. And it's going to be interesting on their side, because they've got so many guys that I don't honestly know. Do they have one guy on this roster that played in this game last year? I don't know that they do. If any of these guys have played. So I don't even know if half their team or the 3/4 of their team even understands what this game is about. So I don't know how emotional they'll be from their side, but you cannot be emotional on your side if you're the Arizona Wildcats. So control your emotions in this game. That's going to be number one. No technical fouls like we saw from Koa last week. I mean, we cannot have anything like that. You've got to be extremely in check with this ball game. I think I'm going to keep saying this. You got to get those post touches early, especially to Mo Krivas. I'd love to see them establish that him against our friend Masamba Diop, the freshman. Really attack the freshman and make him work out there tonight if you're the Arizona Wildcats. And that starts with getting the ball and getting Mo involved in things early. And then I think the big thing is going to be the guard matchup tonight. They've got some guards that can score. And so this is, Braden has talked about how he's kind of learning to defend at this level. He's going to have to have learned, I think, and be able to match up against Mo Odom tonight, because that's going to be a tough test, I think, for the freshman, maybe the toughest that he's faced this season. J-Dub.
Yeah, mine are very similar, DK. I think first and foremost, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, we know they've established a style. It's got them undefeated, ranked number one at the time. As you mentioned, feed Mo and Koa early and often in the paint. I think the freshmen can't deal with those guys if they're aggressive and looking to score and putting rim pressure on. I'd like to see 50 points in the paint from the Cats tonight. Number two, stay in front of the ASU drives and blow up those screens. They're going to be very guard-heavy, as always, in Hurley's style of offense. They're going to try to be disruptive. As you mentioned, the chaos is what they thrive on. That part of that is getting in the passing lanes and trying to get early, easy offense off of turnovers. And keep those turnovers down is my third one. ASU, they're going to try to get in those passing lanes. 12 or less will get the job done versus the school up north tonight in McHale Center.
Calvin.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Attack the paint. I want to see those guys, the three bigs, get at least 25 shots amongst the three guys. They got a 50-pound weight advantage on these guys, man. It's going to be tough for them. I want to see how those guys how ASU even tries to defend them because of the size that our guys have. I also believe that we have to limit the turnovers. You don't want to give these guys easy buckets to stay in this game. And then lastly, yes, you got to lock down Odom and Johnson, but you can't let the other guys get comfortable and be able to knock down shots because you're overplaying those two. I think you have to really lock them down, but you don't want to let those other guys get some points and give these guys a chance to hang around.
There you have it. That's what we think the Wildcats need to do tonight to win the rivalry game against the Sun Devils.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Jaden Bradley starts at the point guard, 6'3", senior out of Rochester, New York. 14 points and 5 assists per contest for Jaden Bradley. Braden Burries, freshman guard at 6'4", out of San Bernardino, California. Braden, 15 points on the season, leads the team with 25 made three-point shots. The man in the middle, Motiej Escrivas, 7'2", out of Chule, Lithuania. Mo on the season, averaging 11 points and 8 rebounds. One forward, Ivan Karchinkov. He is 6'7", out of Munich, Germany, and a freshman. Ivan, 8 points and 4 rebounds per contest. He had 7 and 6 assists against TCU. Koa Pete is the other forward. He's averaging 15 points and 6 rebounds in his freshman season. He is 6'8", out of Chandler, Arizona. Arizona and Arizona State tonight at McHale Center. Tip-off is coming up at 8:30. Brian Jeffries will be on the call with Reggie Gary. We will be back with you after the game from about 11 o'clock till about 1 a.m. with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. So join us for that. We'll look forward to chatting with you and breaking down everything that is Arizona and Arizona State, as well as handing out some awards, including our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. For Calvin Efon and JW Madden, my name is David Kelly. Coming up next, number 1 Arizona against rival Arizona State. Enjoy the contest, everyone, and bear down, Arizona. Go Cats.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
As the new year begins, Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing would like to thank you for allowing us to serve Tucson and the surrounding communities for the past 25 years. Whether it is a small water leak or a full air conditioning replacement, we do it all, big or small. For professional service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
Wildcat fans, why wait for a great night's sleep?
At Factory Direct Mattress of Tucson, you get comfort for life and deals you can't get anywhere else. Shop top-rated brands like the award-winning Puffy, Lisa, and our FDM lineup, all at Factory Direct Savings. No gimmick, no pressure, just comfort that helps you wake up feeling like a champion. Find us at 3936 West Ina Road or at fdmtucson.com. That's fdmtucson.com. Easy to find, easy to save. Stop by today, sleep better tonight, and get ready for Arizona's next victory.
We are the rush, the pulse, the thrill you didn't see coming. Welcome to Club Soul at Casino del Sol, where Tucson's best just got better. Join Club Soul today and get $20 free play. That's right, your first play is on us. Play, earn, and unlock exclusive rewards that take your experience to the next level. More thrills, more perks, more of what makes Casino del Sol unforgettable. We are Club Soul, only at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Ready to update your kitchen, create a spa-inspired bathroom, or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Certain restrictions apply.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.